I think whenever I'm sitting down to write, I want to write something that I want to read and that I haven't read. So really, ultimately, I'm writing for myself. I'm writing to fulfill whatever themes and ideas and passions I want to explore. But at the end of the day, what I want is a book that I want to read. My name is Adnan Khan, and my book is called There Has to Be a Knife. There Has to Be a Knife follows Omar Ali. He's a line cook in Toronto who has just learned about the death of his ex-girlfriend, and the book follows his unraveling process as he tries to come to terms with it. It's hopefully an interesting look at the way a kind of life is built in Toronto and what it might mean to live on the margins. And also it takes a good look at, hopefully a good look at the intersection between being a young person of color, a young brown Muslim man, and what happens when the personal interacts with the political. I think what I wanted to do was, use the heritage of hip hop, the lessons I've learned from that in a formal sense, and apply them to what it meant to be, or what it means to be a young brown Muslim man in a post 9/11 world. In Canada and in Toronto in specific, we talk a lot about multiculturalism and diversity. Quite often that sort of dialogue is very bureaucratic, very safe, and I wanted to take a look at what it actually means, what it means on a personal level, what it feels like. A big thing for me was the emotive quality of the book. We do a lot of analytic government sort of speech about being brown, being multicultural, having these spaces and stuff like that. But there is a sort of emotive quality that is lost when politicians are the only people that are talking about this. So I really wanted to engage with that, and there is stuff in the book that is hard, but there is also these moments where you are seeing Omar is trying to grasp at beauty in the world. And it can be a very dark place at sometimes, but I do think there are some brighter qualities. The best lesson I think I was ever taught was that the universal comes out from the specific. So for me, it was just trying to narrow down the story and make sure I was rendering a very specific experience, and in that way, I'd bring a character to life. And I'm not so much concerned about making sure I have a universal experience as I am making sure that I have a real kind of person on the page. And I think that there's a humanity there that you will connect to regardless of whether or not, you are a young brown Muslim man reading this book. I think if the work is successful, anybody should be able to pick it up and engage with it using just, your general sense of empathy. For me, I think success is really just working. I work and I write because it fulfills me. I think I can't really control anything outwards. So it's hard for me to say like, this so-and-so of an outward expectation and meeting that is successful, because I don't think that really sets with me internally. It's just more of writing, working, and feeling happy that I'm pushing myself on the page and making sure that I'm keeping fully engaged with my work. Of course, accolades make you feel great, and your ego loves to eat those up. But I think at the same time that you have to be a little bit wary of accolades, because you can't sort of let your equilibrium for writing rest on what other people say. Because on the same side, if you're getting a lot of good positive feedback and you take that super seriously, then you do have to take negative feedback just as seriously, right? That's the only way it really makes any sense. So you do kind of have to shut that stuff out and, be really selfish and sort of do what you want to do.